So today I'm going to talk about what you need to do a farmer's market. So you need a tent, but not like a camping tent, like one of those canopy tents that only have the top and just legs, okay? This is one that I like. I got the cheapest one possible when I first started out, so keep that in mind. But it works, it's fine. Okay, and then, this is very important, most tents will have some sort of strings that pull from the top of the tent hood that you can tie onto weights or put into the ground. But usually farmers markets are on pavement, so tie them to some sort of weight. I use actual weights. I use kettlebells, and they're nice because they're small, but they're also expensive. I just happen to have some. But I've seen other people use sandbags, kitty litter, buckets of kitty litter, buckets of cement blocks. Just make sure you have some sort of weight and always tie your tent to it, even if it's not a windy day, because that wind can come up out of nowhere. Okay, and you will need a table. I like a folding table because I always carried all the farmers market stuff in my tiny Honda. So I got a folding table that was easy to carry, easy to set up. Okay, now a tablecloth. A lot of people use just any sort of tablecloth, plain, just throw it over there. But there's these fabric tablecloths I like to get that have a skirting around the side, so you can put all of your stuff that you're not using on the tables under there. And like your coolers and stuff, to keep it really clean looking, you can shove everything under the table and have that skirting around it so no one can see under the table. Okay, a chair. Oh, card reader and something that says we accept cards. Like they usually provide you with a little note card that says these cards are accepted here. So that's always nice. So I like to use Square because we use Square in the shop, but I've always liked Square. They have the little Square readers that you plug into your phone and then you can use the Square app. But you have to make sure you get the right Square reader based on what goes into your phone. Okay, business cards. Just something simple. Any kind of business card is nice. Just something that says your email, your website, your Instagram, Facebook handle, all that stuff with your logo. Just having that there that someone can take. Oh, flavor signs and what you have. So that is something that changes usually. So I would just, if you can find a chalkboard that actually erases, then a chalkboard would be nice, or something small like that you can set up on the table on an easel or something. Or if there's something special about your products, I mean, I'm sure there's something special about everyone's products, but like if they're gluten-free or vegan or something like that, have a sign that says that too. Anything to draw people in. But if you do, so all signage that you have up, you have to really make sure it's like weighed down. So if you have an easel, get one that has some sort of stand like this that you can set something on and then tape or tie the sign onto the easel with. Because when you're talking to a customer or talking to people, you just don't want your stuff blowing all over. If you're learning something from this video, let me know by hitting the like button below. Oh, bags. Something to put your products in. Some sort of bag. We like paper bags with handles that we get from Paper Mart. I'll link them below. And then we stamp the logo on them. So they're just plain. I used to use the craft brown bags, but now I just use white and stamp my logo on there. And I used to tie a ribbon on every single one. Now I've just lost that spark, I guess. Okay, some sort of display case or something like that. So I don't love to keep a lot out at a time, but if you have something that's not very perishable, that won't melt in the heat, then you could do some sort of display case. But I like to just have a little tray. I'll talk about this more when I get to my sign. But when I first started the farmers markets, I did everything as cheap as possible. So I just got like a wood style box that I put like a little cute patterned cloth napkin looking thing that had like coral stripes on it or something, and put the macarons in there. So I just kept the farmers market. You can keep it really cheap at first and then get the cool trays and stuff like that as you grow. But just anything that you can put your products in. If you're first starting and you don't know how long you're going to be doing this, or if you really want to do this, I would just have anything that you can put your product in. It's not that big of a deal. But I will link some good ones if you do have more funding in the beginning. Okay, samples. That is a big thing that the farmers markets were good for me, is putting samples out so people could come and try, because where I live, a lot of people didn't know what a macaron was. So I would cut up samples, put those out for people to try. So you need something that you can put the samples on. Like, I liked something that had a covering on it, like a clear cake plate with a dome lid on it was really nice. So you could see inside, and it was covered. You also will need to bring some sort of knife or something to cut up the samples if you didn't already do that. Preferably you do that at home and then have those ready to go. Gloves, if you're going to be handling the samples. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it to be notified whenever I come out with a new video. Insurance. Most farmers markets require insurance around here, but if not, I would still get it. With that tent, the tent kind of just freaks me out having that, even with the weights, once we even had it blow with the weights. So I would just get something, some kind of insurance if you're going to be doing the farmers markets. A positive attitude. Your products, preferably already packaged and labeled. I don't know about other states, but here we have to have everything packaged, labeled in the home that's listed on the label. You know, you can't be packaging them at the farmer's market. You package them at the home, put that home address on the label, have all the ingredients. So have all that stuff. It depends what you're selling at the farmer's market, but most of them are in the summer and will definitely need to be kept cold. Even if you're selling like some baked goods that don't really have to stay in the fridge, I would still keep them cold. Just looking at stuff that's sweating in the sun, it just doesn't look that appetizing. I always recommend a cooler, a couple of coolers, just with a bunch of ice packs in them. So there's a lot of nice front opening coolers and stuff like that, but just any cooler packed full of ice packs, ice, whatever you can do. Okay, so ice packs, I mentioned that with the coolers. And if you do live in a hot area or you want to have more of your product out, get an ice pack sheet. I'll link some good ones below, but it's basically a thin ice pack sheet that you can put under something. So I would maybe put my setup out, put the ice pack sheet down wherever I was going to put the macarons or whatever, then put maybe some sort of cloth or something, I don't know, whatever you think, over that, and then put the products on top of it so they're staying cool a little bit. Now with really hot climates, I even suggest not putting any macarons out. I know that's hard, but you really got to make sure your product's good. And if it's like scorching hot, you just can't have your stuff out in that sun. So sometimes I will recommend just getting some really good product photos and putting them out to tell people what you have. I mean, if you think about it, ice cream's not out in the open for people to see, and they still manage. So I would just suggest, if it is really hot and you don't want to deal with the ice pack on the table situation, then I would just get some really good photos, have a lot of good signage so people know what you have. And then you could even have some of your samples out maybe, but just make sure you have a lot of signs and stuff so people have a reason to come to your table. Okay, the sign. So some big sign in the background. A lot of people get a banner printed from like Vistaprint. That's what most people do, but in the beginning, I did not want to spend any money, so I went to a hardware store and I got a piece of that like thin wood. I painted it white and I painted my logo on it. So if you are really short on cash, I would suggest doing that. I mean, I think it's nice. I think it looks nice because it's got that like homemade look to it, but it's so much easier to get a banner if you can. Like looking back, I definitely should have got a banner and have something that you can roll up and fit in your car instead of trying to fit that sign and hang that up every time. But if you don't have money to get a banner made, that's something that you can do. You'll also need something to hang the sign with. So ropes, something like that to make sure the sign can be hung. Okay, now decor. You need something to make the table look good. Like maybe I have literally just fake flowers and just stuff that matches the colors of your brand. So really you can do anything for that, but make sure that it's weighted. So if you're gonna do like a flower arrangement, put rocks or something in the container you're putting the flowers in, or something that keeps things weighed down, because you never know when a gust of wind is gonna come and knock everything off your table. Okay, so low bills and change. Don't forget that. You'll get the hang of how much you need after a couple times. Maybe start with 100, something like that, and then just make sure you have a lot of ones. Change based on what you're selling. So I never needed dimes or nickels because mine's always 50. The end is always 50 cents, 75 cents. So think of what you'll need based on your prices. And a cash box. For 5, 6, 7 years, I've been using a bag with money in it, and I thought that was fine. A cash bag is fine. And then my sister did the farmer's market for me. Said, Michelle, you have to get a cash box. This is the worst. And I was like, no. But then she went on my Amazon account and ordered it with my credit card, and I love it. So just get a cash box now. It'll last forever. Yeah, so price tag, something, I had these little chalkboard labels that were like weighted. I just wrote the price on there. A couple of the farmers markets I did, I'm pretty sure they said you have to have a price out. Preferably not just a piece of paper, because that'll blow away. And then some extra stuff that you don't like need for the farmer's market, but it would be nice to have. Paper towels, cleaner, something. A lot of people drop the samples on your table. A lot of people spill their coffee on your table. A lot of people set their Mountain Dew on your table and knock it over. Like, a lot of people set stuff on the table, which is fine. It gets messy sometimes. So have some paper towels, have some cleaner. Scissors, that's a nice thing to have. Hand sanitizer, something for trash, something for the trash. Pen and paper, if you're collecting emails, something to write those down with. If you want, you could get little brochures made. A lot of people just kind of go around and want to say hi and stuff and talk and get to know the different vendors. So it's nice to have a brochure, but those are kind of expensive if you're just starting out. But you could even do like, you've got your business cards, that's nice, but I like to do business cards with pictures of what I sell on the back. So that's been helpful. Or you could get like postcards and put some information on the front if it's more than you can fit on a business card, and then your pictures on the back. Okay, and I've linked all of this stuff in the description, and I've also made up a farmer's market checklist you can get when you sign up for the email list below. I'll send you a checklist with all this stuff on it. Did this answer your question about farmer's markets, or do you still have more questions? If so, comment below and maybe I'll do part 2. I don't know. Or tell me what other videos you want to see and questions you have. Okay, and if you're thinking about selling your baked goods from home and you want to start a home bakery, sign up for the email list and you'll get notified when that course opens. If you have any questions about macarons or any of this stuff, join the Michelle's Macarons Facebook group. I think we have like 3,000 people in there now. 3,000 people. So there's definitely a lot of help in there if you are having trouble. If you'd like, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll put those links in the description. Okay, love you, bye.